Alright guys, I'm going to be showing you guys how to find your perfect sensitivity in Battlefield. Now, it doesn't matter how you use it, whether you're a controller player or a keyboard mouse, this works for both. And I'm going to be showing it for keyboard and mouse. So first thing, we want to dial in some sensitivity settings, and we're going to go to the mouse and keyboard. We are going to go to here and make sure that you have uniform soldier aiming on. I like to use the zoom sensitivity coefficient of 1.77.8. This could be 1778 or 178. It's basically what you guys like to use for zoom sensitivity. But the one we're going to focus on is the infantry mouse aim sensitivity. So it would be here. I've got it at 44 for now, but we're going to start with that. I just threw this at a random number. You could put it at any number you want to be with for starting. We could even go 50. So we're going to go to this website here. I've got the link to it in the description. This is the PSA method calculator. So what you're going to do is you're going to type the starting sensitivity. So we're going to start with 50. And then it tells you right here, these numbers are spit out. So I'm going to move this over so you guys can see. These numbers are spit out right here. It's like lower is 25, the base is 50, the higher 75. So what it wants me to do is to go to 25 and test it out and see how that feels. So we're going to set it to 25. I'm going to do this in the firing range. So it means we're going to have to go in and out quite a bit because you can't change your sensitivity in the firing range. I don't know why that's a thing. So basically what you do is you go into the firing range and you try tracking a target. That's what you want to start with first. Start by tracking a target. I like to track a close range target, see if I'm pretty good at holding that aim on it the whole time. This one feels pretty good. Also, range targets. Do you feel like you're over aiming, under aiming? Are you still on target no matter what? You can also try something more up close, like, I don't know, this cup or something. Imagine somebody's up close to you, you want to just see how well you track. So this one feels pretty good. Now, remember, it did tell us to try 75, so I can't change it to 75 in the firing range, but what we can do is go here, go to our options, change it to 75. All right, so we're gonna go to 75, and you want to do this quite a bit in testing it out. Generally, maybe it's quicker to do this while you're in the game because you don't have to go in and out like I am here. In a match, I mean. But so you're going to test this out, so it's clearly way faster, and see if this feels good. Now, this one I can track, but I'm not too happy about how slow I have to move my mouse to stay on target, and it can lead to issues, especially for range targets. You see how it's really, really hard to track this? So clearly, I'm not a fan of 75, and I am a fan of 25. So we're going to go back to this calculator, and we're going to select, because we said that we liked lower of 25, we're going to select lower. It's going to spit out two new numbers. So it's 18.75 and 56.25. So obviously we can't do decimals in this unless we get super nitty gritty, but we're just going to round it. So 18.75 is like 19. So we're going to back out of here again. Go to our options and set that to 19. If you use your arrow key, oh yeah, you can do 18 or 18.75 technically with this, with your arrow keys, if you want to really get in there. So it said 18.75, so let's get in there. Oh, if you hold it too long, I guess it starts jumping on you. Let me just get around 18. Okay, it seems to not want to work with me here. Look at that. It just doesn't want to work. There we go. So we'll do 18 point... Nope, it still keeps jumping. So arrow keys seem to be a little buggy. No, it's still buggy. All right, so let's just do 19. Let's just do 19. It seems a little buggy. It says to use your arrow keys here. It says adjust. You can use arrow keys for a little bit adjusting, but it seems to jump around. It doesn't want to hold it to that number. But anyway, so we're going to do 19. The theory still applies. We're going to go back into the firing range. And check it out. So I can already tell you 19 feels really, really good for me. Like I can feel how smooth this feels. Like you can see my aim is dead center. I'm holding pretty well. But I'm not going to go with this as the final sensitivity. I mean, technically, maybe. Who knows? But even at range, it seems really good to control. I'm going to test out some shooting here. Yeah, recoil control feels good. Aiming here, close range feels really good. Also here. Yeah, the tracking feels really, really, really good. Okay, so now that we know I like 19, but it did mention another number. We have to test the other number just to be absolutely sure. So it's 56.25, so we're going to put it to 56. We don't want to go through that same situation that we had before. So I'm just going to go through this real quick and show you guys, just so you guys can understand what you have to do. So here it is, 56. We're going to go play, or actually load out. And then firing range. All right, now that we're in here again, here's 56. Now, look, I kind of like 56 as well. So this is why it's actually really important to test out both and don't just jump the gun to the one that you actually think is the best for you off of first try. So test it out a bit, see which one feels good. This one does feel a little bit too fast, but I feel like we're starting to dial it in, which is what you can see how it's jumping here. Okay, so we know, and this is really quick, this method's really quick. So we know what we want here, and we are gonna go with the lower value. So it would have been 19. So now you see it starts fine tuning it a little bit more. So you have like 16.88 and 39.38. So it's starting to really tune it in, because I did say I liked 56 and so on. So we're going to test these numbers out. And the idea is you're going to be testing these numbers over and over again. I don't want to bore you guys, and just for the sake of time, so you guys can understand what's going on here, you test out the lower and then you test out the higher value. So let's say I liked the 16 here. And then after that, I like the higher of 29. Then I go on and say, oh, 20 was really good here. And then now you see how the numbers start dialing in really, really low and close. Maybe if I zoom this in a little bit, you guys can see from the lower to the higher, the numbers start getting really, really close. So it starts fine tuning it. After about the 7th iteration, so let's say I go higher here. So the 7th iteration is the final one. And then let's say I go lower here. And then boom, it gives out your final sensitivity. This is your perfect sensitivity. So you're gonna have to do this about 7 times, and it's really gonna be hard for you to determine which sensitivity is the best to use between this. So you gotta keep testing until you feel like, okay, this one feels proper. So once you get the perfect sensitivity, that is your perfect sensitivity. So in this case, I'm even gonna put this in. It said it should be around 24, and you guys can see how like it doesn't have to be exact decimals. It can be pretty broad. So let's go 24. And we know that the sensitivity for me is basically around 24. So we're gonna go to the loadout, firing range, check it out. And you can see tracking is actually surprisingly really good. And remember earlier I said 19 felt really good, but look, 24 feels really, really, really good. Over here, tracking feels really, really, really good. Same idea. Now, I didn't do the full proper test, so this number might be different if I did the proper test, but you get the idea. By doing this, you guys are going to get the perfect sensitivity. Now, if you're a sensitivity freak and you're really like not entirely sure, what you can do is take this number, refresh this, and repeat the process. So we'll put that in and it starts spitting out the numbers of lower and higher. And you could do this over and over for about 3 times. So you like, let's say we just go higher and so on. You do this method. So this would be our 2nd iteration, right? Because if we want to do it 3 times, so you take this number and then you refresh it one more time, and then this would be your 3rd iteration of testing this method out. And whatever number you get here after doing this, this is like, I guarantee you, is the absolute best. You can go with the very first iteration of 7 tries, or you could do the 7, then 7, then 7, whichever works. I hope I'm making sense here. Regardless, you are going to keep ending up on a number that's very similar to what you found the very first time, and it just dials it in. And you don't have to be exact in the decimals, it can be pretty close. And then, of course, the other thing that I showed in the beginning of this video, and I hope this is all making sense. If it isn't, let me know in the comments because I can address your concerns. The thing I showed in the beginning of the video, and this does work for controller too, so keep that in mind, is if we go to more settings here on the keyboard and mouse, the zoom sensitivity, I set it to 178, technically. So you can try this, or you can try the default of what they have of 1.33 and see which one feels better for you. I like 178 because it feels more accurate to my hip fire sensitivity, and I want those to match exactly the same, so I have a similar muscle memory for both. So that's how you guys find your perfect sensitivity in a very quick, simple method with a calculator I've got in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like down below and let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or if you guys want to see more content like this of tips and tricks on how you can improve your aim or be a better player in Battlefield.